You're listening to Table for Five with Felicia and Annette, only on LA Talk Radio.
Good Monday morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
We are
everyone.
live today.
We are. Are you live? You are live.
Are you?
No, you.
Oh, yeah, I'm alive.
Are you live? Are
I
you
don't know.
awake?
Yeah, no, I'm not awake.
No. It's a week before spring break. Spring is in the air. It's officially spring has sprung, and yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep this train
Anyways,
moving.
yes. Good Monday morning, everyone. Today is Monday, March 26, 2018. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Table for Five. We have a semi-full table today. It's a little
Yes.
quiet in the studio. Well,
No, we
a little
actually
bit.
have. We have. What do you call that? Audience.
Oh, yes.
We have-
We're in front of a live
We have-
studio
yeah,
audience.
We have audience.
I've always wanted to say that in front of a live studio audience of two people.
Up to.
Yes.
So that makes us five.
Yes.
There
So you guys
go.
can feel free to clap.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
our live studio.
We're like, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
You might have to come every week.
Yes.
That made me feel real good. I know how Oprah felt every time she went out and people were like,
Oh, now she's on with the Oprah thing. Wow. Okay. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Where you, the listening audience, and our viewing audience, and our in-studio audience will always have a seat at our table here at Table for Five. So we'd like to welcome our guest this morning, Antoine. Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Grateful to be here.
Absolutely.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. Catch us here every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tell your friends, tell your family, grab a soda, grab a coffee, grab a
don't
donut.
grab soda. Grab a hot water with
Some
lemon, put a
people
little
like
apple
soda.
cider vinegar.
I don't like
Mm-mm.
soda.
That's not
Nobody's
good.
drinking apple cider vinegar.
Yes,
vinegar.
it's very good for you.
I know it's good
Just
for
do
you,
it.
but nobody's gonna drink it right
Yes,
now.
they will.
Don't do that and watch
Oh,
our
no.
show.
Oh,
But yes, if you want to jump in on the conversation today, you all should know what we're talking about because you should be following us on social media.
Social media.
Social and social.
We haven't had a drink yet.
Not yet. It's still early.
Oh, my
kind
goodness
of.
gracious. Jesus fix it. It is Holy Week.
It is. Yes, yesterday was Palm Sunday.
Yes.
But we're like jumping ahead of
Yeah, we're
ourselves.
all
So
over
yes,
the place.
if you have any questions, comments, if you want to call in, jump in on the conversation because you should know what we're talking about. The number to call is 818-570-5085. Again, 818-570-5085.
Yeah, and today we have our first, not our first, but our first sponsor for the show.
Oh, are we going to do that?
Yeah, we're going to do
Okay.
that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, what were you wanted to do?
I thought you wanted to do the social media stuff.
Oh, yeah, well...
Let everybody know.
Okay,
where we
listen,
are.
you can follow us on Facebook Live as you are right now because you're watching us, or you can find us on LA Talk Radio, which is, I'm sure you're watching us there as well. And there's our Instagram at Table for Five, our Twitter at Table for Five, and our Facebook is at Table for Five with Felicia and Annette.
Yes.
So you can find us there. And if you are on Facebook Live, you can hit us a question. We have a very, very exciting show. I'm so glad we're doing this show after this weekend.
Absolutely.
It's like
It's perfect timing.
Perfect timing to have you
Perfect
here.
timing,
I'm so
yes.
proud of you. And so
Thank
anyway,
you.
shoot us up. Also,
Shoot us up.
no, don't shoot us up. That's a bad word. Look us up. Look us up. Look us up.
We got what you're saying.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I got
See,
you.
you
Shoot
need
us
to
an
come every
email.
Monday too. Don't
Shoot
shoot
us
us
a
an
text.
No, look us up. Send us a text. Send us an email.
Okay.
But also, you could look us up on our website at www.table-for-5.com. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information there of our former shows, and you could look up on our gallery. Also, if you want to advertise with us, there's a tab that says Advertise with Us, and someone will get back to you with the information and the tier offerings. They're actually on the page.
Yeah.
You could just find out how much it's going to cost you. But that's really why you
important.
need to contact us.
Yes.
But anyway, so feel free to look up on our we put up some really cool new pictures that we
Oh,
took of
yes.
ourselves.
Well, we had somebody take them. Well, no, I guess some of them were some selfies.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go to our today's show has been brought to you by.
Am I doing? You want me to do it? I'll do the commercial.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So today, our first sponsor. Today's show is being brought to you by My Financial Home Enterprises, a global financial consulting firm providing comprehensive accounting, tax, and financial management services. Dr. Cosette M. White coined the financial physician, diagnoses and provides a cure to eliminate money leaks and income barriers to grow your business's bottom line. Visit her website at www.myfinancialhome.com for more information. All one word, www.myfinancialhome.com for more information. This is a fantastic resource to have right now.
Yeah.
This is tax season.
Yep.
Listen, don't wait until April 15th to try to do. No, my stuff is, listen, I'm not procrastinating this year. Because if you owe, I did find this out many years ago, you still have to have it in by April 15th.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
The
You don't
first
get a
year-
pass.
Yes, I was like, oh, file for an extension. Yeah, but still give us our money and then we'll figure it out later. I was like, oh, wow, okay. That was many, many years ago when I was young, like our in-studio guest today. Young, to have youth is just
I know, it's
so
wonderful.
amazing. Yes.
Listen, to be young, a young adult right now
In
is
America.
a big deal.
Yes.
It's a big
Yes.
deal. It's a really big deal, and I'm
Yeah.
so proud of it. But
Yes.
we want to hit some hot topics.
Yes.
And so, okay, we didn't talk about this prior, but I just want to hit up Stormy Daniels. Did you watch the
Oh,
interview?
yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
I did. I watched 60 Minutes last night.
Do you think it was a big deal?
No, I wanted more information than what I got. Like, I
think-
feel like it was kind of like what?
No, I think it was a teaser to what's to come. I think that if the people in the campaign are to...
She was trying to scare him?
No, she wasn't trying to scare him. She was trying to tell him, don't play with me because I got the truth. She probably has more information.
Yeah, that's why it made it seem.
Yes, when Anderson Cooper asked her, do you have text? Do you have all the stuff? She said, I'm not allowed to say. When you say I'm not allowed to say, it's because you got something.
Got information.
Yeah.
You got that information and you're holding that. Listen, I said to my husband last night, no pun
tapes.
intended. She got tapes. She's holding the Trump card. You know that. And I said it yesterday. I'm like, oh, that sounds terrible. But she really is holding the Trump card.
Yes.
And that attorney of hers is a pit bull. Like
Yeah.
he is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm afraid of him.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of her. I'm afraid of him. He is going for the jugular. He is not playing.
That's good, but that's good. That's smart on her part for getting somebody like that. Because I
Yes.
think you need someone
Because I
like
think the
that.
one she had before set her up
No,
for what
and-
she's going through right now.
Yeah, and he was like, trying to sell her out, and then she's got people like meeting her in parking lots with her daughter. I'd be like,
think
That's too much.
Yeah, that was a
That's
little
too
too much. But anyway, I just wanted to say I believed her.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
believed her wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I totally think she slept
is
with him.
credible.
And I
Yeah.
don't think she's an opportunist. I don't think she's just trying to have her 15 minutes of fame. I think she's like, listen, this is my situation. This is what happened. I don't need to lie about it. And they're trying to shut her up.
Yeah,
they
and
need
what
to
people
stop.
don't have to, I think what people have to realize was that she didn't start talking about this actually.
Right.
It was the
People
Trump.
came to her.
People came to her, and Michael Cohen was the one who started talking about it.
Yeah.
Who was the attorney who put this whole thing together.
For sure.
So she didn't out herself at
Yeah.
all. They
Yeah.
outed her,
Yeah.
and so it was like, okay, well, you're talking about it, then I get to talk about it. Well,
Yeah,
how
and then
does
they're
that
like,
work?
no, you need to shut up. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no,
Exactly.
I need to get paid for this because
Yeah.
people are willing to pay me, and you want me to shut up. Yeah, no,
Yeah, it was
doesn't work
very
like that.
interesting.
And there was
okay,
go ahead.
but I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say there was another story on 60 Minutes that you watched.
Oh yes, the
young
basketball
man.
player. Do you
Oh,
know that
my
Joanna
gosh.
made that suit?
Did she?
Yes. We
Okay.
had a guest a couple of weeks ago who many of you saw is a designer for
Joanna
many,
Alba.
Joanna Alba. Alba Legacy is a designer for many of the NBA players and sports athletes. And on that piece, I don't know his name. I can't say
I know
it.
he has a Greek name.
Mm-hmm.
He's Nigerian. His parents are Nigerian. They moved to Greece when he was a very young child, and that's his national country. That's his
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
country. And I cannot pronounce his name. I do not want to slaughter his name.
Plays
but
for the
he is-
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee Bucks. I believe
Giannis?
he's yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. How do you say his name? Giannis.
Giannis.
Do you
It's
know
his
how to say
first name.
Last
Yeah.
name.
His
No.
last name has a lot of syllables and letters, and
It's
it's like
got a lot of
20 letters.
letters.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh.
Yes,
Who
Giannis.
puts that?
He is amazing.
Yes.
So
Amazing.
they told his story last night on 60
Yes.
Minutes too, and my boys were sitting there watching it with me,
He's
and Dominic was
amazing.
like, "Oh my God, that's awesome!
Yeah.
He is so awesome."
He went from high school to the NBA. There was no in between.
yeah,
That's
'cause He was
amazing.
playing in like a league in Greece,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they found him, and I mean, he's such a humble,
Yeah.
good.
Listen, making
guy.
$22 million a year living in a 2-bedroom apartment, he's like, this is enough for me.
Yeah, with his mom and
Wise.
his brother, and he's just
His
like,
girlfriend.
"Listen, I'm happy to be, here and living life." And I was like, "That's right, honey. Just
That's how
be
you need to
humble."
do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
Like you don't need to be all, whatever.
Oh, extra. But what I wanted to go back, but that was really nice how they balanced out the news piece, because I was like, oh my God. What I want to say about Stormy Daniels, and what I want to say about the Donald Trump presidency and the Bill Clinton presidency, because I know they're comparing the two. Bill Clinton did the same amount of damage that Donald Trump is doing with exposing sexuality to our kids in a way that maybe they would not have cared to look up. So like oral sex became, ooh, what is that? Let's look it up. Let's find out, right? So they got exposed to that because that's what he claimed he didn't do.
Right.
Or he did. I don't know. I didn't care. And then there was Donald Trump now, the porn, the adult film entertainment.
So kids are like, what is porn?
Right. So all this, they're talking about it in school.
Film?
No, they really are talking about it in school. Yeah. It's a real thing.
And these are our leaders.
And these are, yes. And so it's kind of like, this is what we offer our kids. Wow. On both ends. Listen, I'm throwing both of them under the bus. It was a terrible season for Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
And it's a really bad season for Donald Trump. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, hopefully he'll be gone soon. Let's make that happen, everyone.
Listen, I know. Oh, God. Anyway, but also,
that's our motivation.
On Saturday, the biggest news of the weekend was the March for Our Lives that took place all over the world, literally.
All over the world. Paris,
which was,
London.
Berlin.
Yes.
And I thought that was the most amazing. I taped it and watched it. I had to get my son to his piano lesson, so I was kind of, that's why I taped it. And I watched the first half, and I cried. The whole time because I thought, well, I always and this goes for you too. I always feel like when tragedy comes to somebody and they rise up out of it, or a challenge comes to someone and they rise up out of it, is because they were born for it. And that's hard for some people to accept. But you rose up out of it and you made something out of it. And all those kids that were on that stage, the Stoneman Douglas students, and even the young kids who had family members that were victims of gun violence, those kids were eloquent.
Yes.
What I loved about it, I was telling my son, we were watching it, the three of us, and they had loose leaf paper. That's what their speeches were, on loose leaf paper. They were turning it, like you could tell this was coming from their heart. Nobody was like, it wasn't a professional. They were reading for a teleprompter. It wasn't.
But I loved it because it was almost like a school speech too.
Yes.
They were like, I've taken what I have learned in school, and I'm gonna write my paper right here, and I have got to tell you this. And I was like, that's right, honey.
It was
I got the thesis and everything.
Yes. And that's what made me. I was so moved by that. I was like, this is real. This is coming from a place of hurt and of just desperation. And the other thing that just blew me away was when the young lady who got shot and she went up there, she's the one that recovered, and she has the shrapnel in her face and her knee, and she was so nervous, but there was a poignant point in her. She was reading like a spoken word poem, and she threw up.
Aww.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh, she was so choked angry, and nervous, and then at one point in the line, eyeball. She says when the politicians can't even look at her face, and she was shaking, and she just went and literally threw up, and people rushed to her side, and then the camera kind of panned away. And they just were comforting her and saying, you could do this, you could do this. And she goes back, she goes, I just threw up on international stage and it feels great.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, and she was able to finish her speech. Someone was holding her because she was just so emotional. Yeah. And of course, the queen of the night was Emma Gonzalez, who is just...
amazing young woman.
The fire in her is just infectious. And I said to Felicia, and I was sharing with my kids, was what I felt I witnessed from the youngest person on that podium to there weren't that many old people up there. It was all,
Which was good.
Yeah, to the oldest of the young adults was the future leadership of this country. These are your future leaders, your politicians, your city council, your mayors, your governors. These are the people that are going to be like, I'm done. We got to vote. And a lot of them are turning 18 or they're 18, so they're really going to push the register to vote.
Absolutely.
So it was really, really, really interesting. It was beautiful. It was very well done. I was very proud of every state that got involved.
Yeah.
California had
3 different locations.
Well, there were locations everywhere. There was, I was posting even like small cities. I don't know if Moore Park did anything, but my little community of Santa Clarita, shout out to Santa Clarita Valley. They got together and had a little march.
I saw that on Facebook this morning.
Yeah, like, in like the center of our city, and people were out there with their signs, and, shout out to Magic Mountain. Everybody knows where Magic Mountain is, but we were getting on the political scene too.
That's awesome.
So I think people are done. People are done.
Yeah.
They're tired. Yeah. Children are done, and I love that the children have been ignited and feel like they actually are empowered and have a voice, because I think that's a beautiful thing. And anybody, I want to say, anybody that's out there that wants to stifle that, shame on you for not encouraging it, or you don't even have to encourage it, but just don't try to douse it. Don't try to put it out. Just if you don't agree with it, then step to the side, move to the side, and let these people go. But I don't need you bashing these young people, these children. It's too much. It's nasty. It's negative. It's a bad look on you as an adult. Just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to say they were very clear on that podium.
Yes,
very clear on what they wanted. They want gun reform. They don't want to take away anybody's gun rights. Right. And for people to go, but you should hear the spin on this, and the conservatives giving this such a wicked spin, like you're missing the point. Because they're trying to make everybody
scared.
Yeah,
because once they make everyone scared, then people will be like, "Oh, we don't want to get behind this cause," and blah blah blah.
So I just want to say,
use scare tactics.
But I want people to know, watch it. Go online, find it on YouTube. Watch it listen to every speech. These kids are not about taking away people's guns. These are about gun reform rights. About doing better background checks. I mean, they put a very clear line on what it is that they wanted.
Yeah.
And it's not about changing the Second Amendment. No. So stop. That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a bald-faced lie. Yeah. And you guys need to stop saying that, because that was pissing me off when I was on social media. I'm like, they're lying. Yeah. They're lying.
Yeah, they're making it up.
They're making it up. So
how did it make you feel? Do you want to chime in on it? Like, these are your contemporaries. These are some of your. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22.
I turned 22 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God. Yeah. I have a child that's 22.
I think this whole movement is really good for our society right now, because this, like what you said, to chime off what you said, this is our future. And you got to be kind of excited, because right now we're in turmoil, and I think having young individuals like what we've seen this weekend is definitely impactful and inspiring to show that our country's coming out of what we're coming out of right now. And more, and if we could keep publicizing the youth in this manner, I think that's going to encourage other people in our generation to figure out, okay, listen, we can do that.
I believe our young adults and our teenagers, they're awake. A lot of people would say, oh, they're entitled, they're the me generation, or they're, there might be a handful of those. There might be a handful of those, because there are. I mean, that's a balance, But I think what I said this, I tweeted this, was this particular shooting woke up a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't in the hood. This neighborhood is not in the hood. It's an affluent community. These children, are not poor by any stretch of the imagination. Right. They just go to a really good public school in Parkland. And they are very eloquent, smart kids who are like, wait, what? You came to shoot us up?
Yeah.
No, we're not.
And they're done. They're done, because it's happening time and time again. Exactly. And nothing is really being done. We've got thoughts and prayers and blah, blah, blah. And we talk about it for 2 weeks. But what's the action? Exactly. And so it's taking these young people to say, we need to keep this in the forefront of the media. We need to, continue to talk about it. And I think that's great. And I hope it is inspiring for people who are a little bit older than these kids that are in high school. I feel like there's a little bit of a safety net too. Like, I feel like people that are maybe in your age range, like that have already graduated and are in college, is kind of like, to me, I feel like it was easier to have a big voice like that when I was in high school, as opposed to a young adult, because you're in your adulthood and you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to rock the boat. Like, I feel like I don't know if I would have picked up and jumped into a protest when I was 22, 23 as strongly as I am now at 43.
Right.
You know
but
what I
mean? Think that's different for this generation. I think because of social media and all the information that they've gotten, they feel empowered to go, no, we're going to stand up for this right now. Yeah. So that's really amazing.
Because our generation, we have more of an impact on society.
Yeah,
as a comparison
and it's immediate. It's an immediate impact because of social media.
Exactly.
It's
different avenues to impact.
And it's global. It's not just in your little community. Yeah. If you have a huge social media following,
it could be trending everywhere.
It trends everywhere, and it's global, so everybody gets on it. So they're having another march, April 20th, I believe. Is it April 20th? I don't want to. So. And it's to honor, I guess, the Columbine shooting. Wow. So I don't know if they're having it in Colorado, but it's I don't know what anniversary
I think it's
date.
20th anniversary.
Is it the 20th anniversary? Oh my gosh.
I think so.
So they are going to gather together, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more. And one of the things someone said, and we'll move on from this, but one of the things that someone said was these young teenagers and young adults were giving voices to the 20-year-old, to the 20 kindergartners that didn't have a voice.
Oh, yes.
And I just, that really just sent me over the edge. I was done. I was like, they're little kids. Who's going to rise up and fight for them? Their parents are coping with grief.
Right.
And some of them have risen up and they were there. A lot of the families were there. And so many families who were victims of this gun violence in schools. And just in general, I mean, one of the young adults there spoke about the gun violence in Chicago and how 5,000 young adults have died.
And even, who was it? Paul McCartney was there talking
in
about
New York,
how John Lennon died from gun violence. So it's all around us.
Yes.
And I applaud this generation for taking it by the bullhorns and just hopefully bringing it down. We are behind you and we hear you, and I love it. Real quick, did you have lockdown drills when you were in high school? Do you remember having lockdown drills?
You did?
Yeah, you guys are shaking your heads.
Really?
We did.
Like lockdown, like active shooter lockdown?
No, like fire drills. We didn't have. I don't think we had lockdown.
Did you have? Didn't you have shooter drills? Because Columbine would have been like
20 years ago, but you guys are so young.
In high school still.
I don't recall having a shooter drill.
At my school, I did.
What about you, Matt?
What school did you go to?
Highland High School in Palmdale.
Okay.
Highland High School.
Okay. So you had shooter drills, but you didn't have any.
No. I know for sure in North Hollywood we did not have shooter drills.
Okay.
Did you have them in Notre Dame?
Yes. I would say yes. I think so.
Maybe.
Right? We had fire drills.
Yeah, they had fire drills. They didn't have
lockdowns.
lockdowns.
But not
active
shooter.
shooter.
Yeah.
Listen, every school is having active shooter drills.
Right now, I think it's definitely a trend.
I think
I would say in the last probably like 2 years, like it's been like ramped up in the
why.
last year. But I just was wondering if like when you were in high school, because it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Right. It was like a minute.
Yeah.
I 8. Oh, wow.
It was 8 years
Don't say
ago.
that loud.
Okay.
That's fine.
And also, I just want to give a big shout out to our show last week. We did a very powerful show on the She Does movement. We got an incredible response on our Facebook Live
thank you
feed.
so much, everyone.
And we will continue to bring awareness to that.
Absolutely.
Homeless women in the street. That's a very real. So, but I just want to say,
good feedback from that show.
Yes, and if you want to continue to learn more about the She Does movement, go on their website, which is shedoesmovement.org.
Yes.
And you can continue to keep up with everything that's going there. They have a very strong social media platform on Instagram and Twitter, and you can see and on Facebook, and you can see where they are gathering to help these women.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But let's get into our guest today. So today we have Mr. Antoine Taylor, the founder of The Cause. You are the CEO and founder of The Cause, and it is The Cause International. So
yes, ma'am.
welcome.
There's your applause.
I heard it. We're there.
We have cans, and now we have studio audience.
I know.
Y'all are they're doing their job.
They're working. They're working behind the scenes.
They couldn't do.
They're not here for us. They're here for him. That's okay. We'll take it.
Yes. So welcome, Antoine.
Thank you for having me.
This is so exciting. So I went online. I did my due diligence. I started reading some stuff. But I'm going to tell you. I'm going to ask you to tell us how this came about.
Yes.
I know because I read it.
Okay.
But I do have some questions in between of what I read.
Yes.
Understandable. Okay, so I think how everything started was no intention to make it a apparel brand or giving back right away. It was honestly just to have some pocket change when I was in college because I worked full time and I played football and I was pre-med and all of my money that I went straight to tuition. So on campus, I was covered. But when I left campus, I had no money for myself. And I went to school in Minnesota called St. John's University.
Yes.
And I'm a big mama's boy, so I was far from home.
Because you're born here.
Yes, I'm born.
Shout out to
yes,
SoCal.
Yeah, local.
Yes,
local.
go ahead.
Yes,
Born and raised.
Born and raised in Pacoima, California.
Went to Notre Dame. Went to North
Notre Dame, and then went to North Hollywood High School. So when I was out there, I just thought,
and it's cold.
It's really cold. It's really cold.
Minnesota. So you go from California, Southern California, to Minnesota.
Yes.
Let's just let that sink in for a minute, everybody. I don't know if you're listening in Minnesota or if you're from Minnesota or have ever been there. I have never, but I have seen pictures.
Yeah.
And
it's freezing.
Yeah. But
fourth football game, -9.
Oh, no.
Never played in snow in my life.
Stop
So
it.
okay, so you get there.
Okay.
You're not enjoying being away from home.
Yeah.
You're short on cash.
Definitely short on cash.
And you're missing your mama.
Big thing. Missing family, friends.
And so let's
mama.
clarify that real quick too. So you get a scholarship, so you can eat on campus.
Yeah.
You're not like starving.
No, I'm not starving.
You can eat on campus. You're covered. You have books.
Yeah.
You have tuition.
Everything's covered.
But like, if you want to go out, if you want to go, you need some new shoes. You need some
or
new
if you
socks.
want to go on a date.
Or you want to go on a
Yeah.
date. Yes, that's
You
right.
know,
Oh Lord.
just to be
That's
honest.
what social.
You said we
They
have to be honest.
socialize.
Just to socialize.
Yes.
I want to think about that.
I couldn't do that. And
Yeah.
I think it was a little frustrating. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to ask my mother for anything,
Yeah.
you know? And I just thought, okay, what can I do on campus?
Yeah.
And I was pre-med, like I said before, and I wasn't that smart. So I had to try.
You are smart. You are very smart. Listen, you started your own
I'm
company.
like,
honey.
we're here.
You are
Thank
very
you.
smart.
You're here.
Yeah.
Well, in chemistry and
Yes.
physics, I wasn't as smart. So I had to
You were
study a lot.
struggling.
I was struggling
Yes.
heavily. So
Yes. So you had to really work
exactly
at the studying of those
definitely.
two subjects. So
And
that was taking up a lot of time.
Exactly. It was taking up a lot of time, but also I was like, well, I'm already studying late at night, so why not do something where I can get paid for it while I'm studying?
Yeah.
So I thought, why not wash people's clothes?
Oh.
And people kind of knew me because I played football, so like they kind of knew me around campus, but it was definitely embarrassing, like knocking on people's doors saying, wash for 5, wash and fold for 10. But I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how it first started.
Wow.
And then I started washing people's clothes with my friend Kenny Green. He's from New Jersey, Newark to be exact. And we both were pre-med at the time.
Okay.
And Kenny stopped being pre-med after the year, but I unfortunately continued. So I did that, and we raised some money, which was good for us.
Yeah.
And then we got to a point where Kenny stopped washing people's clothes, and then it was just me. And then I was like, I'm tired of washing people's clothes. So what can I do on campus to make money?
Yeah. Was it lucrative? Like, were people like, yeah, come wash
Yeah.
my clothes?
Well,
Heck yeah, my son would be like, take them
They're
off.
late. Yeah. They definitely were. It was lucrative.
Yeah.
Well, I never had a lot in my account. So like when I was thinking like $400, I was like, oh yeah, I have $400.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
money.
That's a lot of
Especially
money.
in college when you have everything else paid
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. But I got tired of that. So I was like, what else can I do? And I
Yeah.
thought of like, maybe I should sell shirts. And then I was like, no, because that's
Like
too much.
t-shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
T-shirts. But I was like, there's probably too much competition because they could just go to the bookstore.
Yeah.
So then I thought, all right, what about selling socks? And I think in the beginning I was like, okay, that's kind of crazy. But then I just start thinking more about it. I was like, why not? There's no competition,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And people need socks.
Yeah.
And like they would love to have socks with. I didn't do the mascot because I didn't want to get in trouble with the school. So I just
Right.
wrote in words, literally Johnny's. Because that's our mascot's called Johnny's.
Wow.
So then I was like, all right, I'm just going to go exactly what I did with washing clothes. See, it's crazy because washing clothes prepare me to just get out of my comfort zone. And I'm going to sell to anyone. I'm not
Yeah.
scared. You know,
Yeah.
the worst thing you're going to say is no.
Yeah.
So that was really good because before I was very embarrassed and I didn't really want to talk to people in that
Yeah.
manner. So
Yeah.
that helped me out a lot. So when I started selling socks, I ended up selling 512 socks in a
Oh
week.
my
Okay,
God.
so
yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
We
you
got
buy
it.
the
Okay.
socks?
Okay, so my bad.
Yeah.
I kind of jumped.
No,
okay.
No. We just want to know like exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had, I had this friend named Carl Kanai, and he went to Notre Dame, and his dad's really big in the fashion industry.
Like Carl Kanai?
Yeah, like Carl Kanai.
Like Carl Kanai from the 90s.
Exactly, like Tupac, Biggie, Carl Kanai.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his son played baseball at Notre Dame,
Okay.
and I played football, but we were connected somehow.
Yeah.
So I literally called him up, and I was like, "Hey, bro, like, does your dad know anyone who makes socks?" And he said, "Yeah." He connected me to my manufacturer,
Okay.
which is called Silky Socks.
Okay.
And at the time, it cost $35 for one pair of socks because I wasn't ordering in bulk.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And
That's, I was like, "Ooh, that's a lot."
And Silky Socks does stuff for like Drew League, for the LA Clippers girls, the LA Laker girls, the Portland Trail Blazers girls. Like, they have like a good clientele.
Yeah.
So when they hear this young kid in Minnesota asking for a pair of socks, I was like, okay, how much will it cost? And he's like, well, if you're only ordering one, probably $35, $40.
Oh,
and
Lord.
I was like, all right, that's a lot for a pair of socks. You know, you add $5 more, it's a pair of Vans. I don't know why I think like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, because if it's going to cost you $35, then you got to charge somebody else like $40, $45. And are people going to pay that
Not
much
at all.
money
And that's
for
not
pair
even
of
a
socks?
profit.
Not at all. But I had to order in bulk.
Right.
So I was like, you know, I'm just going to try it. So I ordered the pair of socks.
And did he put the Johnnies on it for
Yeah,
you
he
too?
put-
Okay.
So it was
he
just
did.
one design.
It was just one design.
One
One
design.
design, one sock.
Okay.
And then I went around the entire campus
Okay.
for a week and started saying, hey, can you, would you be interested in purchasing some socks?
Yeah.
And at the time, I was trying to use the money so I can go back home.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want to ask my mom for anything. So I just wanted to, I'm getting older, so I want to start doing stuff for myself.
Yes.
So
Love
it's
it.
not like my mom, she would have found a way, but it
Right.
would have.
She would have, like
She
we
would've-
always do.
She would have found a way,
Yes.
but like it was just not necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Now, was this for vacation or you were like, I'm done
no
with
home.
Minnesota?
No.
Yeah.
Just
I
to
can't. I
visit?
can't be done.
Yeah.
I gotta go to school there.
Yeah.
I gotta get this degree.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think my mom would allow me.
So you
to
were
be
just
done.
trying to come back home
Just
for vacation.
Yeah,
for
just
Christmas.
To
For
go
Christmas.
visit
Christmas
his mama.
break.
Yeah.
Christmas break.
Yeah.
So I did that, and when I sold 512 socks, I was amazed. I didn't think people were gonna do that. Literally, I went the first 30 customers went 30 for 30.
Wow.
And
And they only bought one pair?
They only bought one pair.
Okay.
I think
That's
maybe
that's
somebody
good.
bought two. I don't know. I don't recall. I think
all good, though.
a couple people did buy two.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it's a good Christmas gift.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So that was a good time. I didn't even think about
Yes.
it. I was just like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So that's another way I can add in my pitch. So I did that. I called back the guy from Silky Socks, and he said, his name's Danny, and now we're really good friends. He helps me out a lot with everything. And he answers his phone. He's like, hey. I was like, hi, my name's Antoine. He's like, oh, yeah, the guy with the one sock. And I was like, yeah, the guy with the one sock. But now I have 512 socks. And then he was like, no way. And he was like, do you have your own store or anything? I said, no, I'm just selling around campus. And he said, oh, wow. And then when I was doing it, and I seen the money that came in, I was like, man, there's so many people going through my same situation or even worse, but who are the young individuals out there to go and make a difference?
Right.
So then I just talked to my team, like who was helping me, because it was like me at first, and then they seen like it was working. They're like, oh, I can help you, bro. And then we're like, okay, what should we do next? And then I said, I think we should give back some of the money.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just because like it's for a purpose.
Yeah.
And at the time we had no cause. Like it was,
Yeah.
we didn't have we were just selling
Yeah.
socks.
You
Yeah,
were like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
need some money.
Yeah,
exactly.
The
I need
You
some
were the
money.
cause.
Yes.
and then we seen the money coming in. We're like, oh wow, like we should give back. We're in a
Yeah.
position to give back.
Yes. Now you've got what you need. You've covered what you need.
Exactly.
Now let's bless somebody else. Let's
exactly.
pay it forward. Yeah.
Exactly. And we were just like, all right, where are we gonna go? And my partner, he's amazing. His story is amazing. His name's John Oliver, and he plays basketball with one hand at our school.
Wow.
And he just lets nothing
Stand in his way.
at all.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's awesome.
And he was like, you know, man, like, I think, and we're in Minnesota right now. He said, I think it'll be really cool if we can give back to my hometown, Southside Chicago. And he's from Southside Chicago. And he was talking about the 5,000 people, you know, who died because of gun violence.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, that's why not.
Yeah.
And then my school allowed us to rent a bus. So it was like myself, my friend, my vice president, Jacob Lucas, my other partner, his name's Abdi Fatamusi. He's right now in Kenya serving for, he's from Kenya, but he's serving in Tanzania for a year to give back.
Wow.
And
Under the cause or just for himself?
For himself.
Wow.
For himself. It's just the type of people I was surrounded with. It was
Right.
like, we have to do this.
Yeah.
And Jacob, he's from East LA, so like he knows the struggle, and we were like, we have to do this.
So what did you do in South Chicago? What
Yeah.
What did you go and do?
Oh, so we went to the Boys and Girls Club where John went, and we like retrofitted essentially, and we donated $3,000 to the
Wow.
club, And
that's awesome.
We did like a Christmas show or a Christmas presents giveaway.
Yeah.
And we bought them all T-shirts that had the Cause International all on it.
Oh, fantastic.
And I think the biggest thing for me when I took away from it was this girl named Kyla. She literally came up to me. She's like 5 or 6 years old. I'm guessing she was really small, and I'm small, so like she was really small. And
she was probably 12.
No, she was young. And she came up to me and she hugged my left leg and she was like, Antoine, thank you for giving me my first Christmas.
Oh my God.
And that's when I knew, like,
it hit you.
This is what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, this is what my call is.
Yeah.
And I felt.
I'm going to rewind it a little bit. So had you already come up with the name, The Cause International? Because you said you gave them T-shirts that said The Cause.
Like, my bad. So, like, when we were selling, before we went, we were trying to figure out, like, as you're selling, you're like, what do you guys call yourself, you know?
Right.
And we're
because
like,
then now are you telling people, like, hey, we're selling these socks, but we're also.
No, because we already sold them. We already sold them, but now we're, like, before we go to Chicago, or, like, we already sold them.
Okay.
But now we're, like, thinking about, like, what we're doing in Chicago. And we're like, we need to, like, have a name for what we're doing.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it was my friend who helped me start it too, but he transferred out to us going back home in Chicago too. And his name was Mike Charles. And he was like, bro, like, we're doing it for a cause. And he was like, cause. And I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I was like, cause, like, not cause.
Yeah.
And then Abby was like, is our cause only in America? Why not international? So we're like, Cause International.
Yeah.
And I was like, The Cause International.
That's awesome.
And then that's literally how it happened. We're in my dorm.
So what year were you in? Is this your first year, freshman year, when this all started happening?
Sophomore year.
Sophomore year. So did you continue it through?
Yes.
All the way through.
So we did the Chicago event. We came back home. We're like, okay, guys, now everybody's feeling the same way I'm feeling. Right. So we're like, okay, this is snowball.
Yeah. Now, are you thinking, do we continue selling socks because you feel like I have to fund this project?
Exactly.
Now?
You have to fund.
Yeah.
And we went from socks to shirts to shirts to hoodies to joggers, and now we do everything. But like when we came back to campus, we're like, okay, like people heard about what we're doing. My school heard about what I was doing.
Right.
So they wrote articles about us. Like people started to hear about the cause.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah. School.
And you had your name. So you were like, we are the Cause International.
Boom. Exactly. And now it's like, it was crazy because my school heard about what I was doing and they came up to me, like one of the people who work in institutional advancement. I forgot exactly who it is. But Raj, there you go, Raj. He came up to me. He's like, have you ever heard of the entrepreneurship program? And I was like, no. He said, I was looking through your file and you're like pre-med. And I'm not saying like you're not like a doctor or anything by choice, but like you really have entrepreneur skill sets.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I never heard of this. So
yeah.
I literally go to meet with this person that he introduced me to.
Yeah.
They're just talking to me and they're like, wow, it's like what you're doing is really amazing.
Yeah.
Like you fit the program. So then I had to apply to get in.
And this is a program at the school?
At school
in Minnesota.
It's called
So
e-scholars.
it changes your major?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Mom's definitely not letting me change my major.
Shout out to Mom. That's
yeah,
right.
she said we're gonna stick it through because at the end of the year we know that nursing is guaranteed.
Yeah.
So I couldn't change.
That's okay.
And it was hard. And
so there's this program though
exactly.
that they have for entrepreneurs
yes, exactly.
at the college. Okay.
And like a lot of people apply and they only pick 12.
Oh.
So I took it as like I didn't really care if I got in.
Yeah.
But it's because I didn't do my research about all it encompassed.
Gotcha.
See, if I did my research, I would have been really nervous in the interview.
Right.
But I just didn't really think
you
about it.
You were like, okay, I'm just going to go.
I was like, oh, I'm going to go because they told me to go out of respect.
Yeah.
So I went there, got in, and did not think nothing of it. Then I go to the meeting where everyone gets in and we get to meet each other. And then they're telling me about the program. Like, we travel to China. We travel to Silicon Valley.
Wow.
We travel to Denver for a pitch. And you're just like, oh, wow. Like, this is what I got into.
Yeah.
So then it turned my hobby into actual business.
Yes.
So then it made me realize, too, like, what I'm supposed to be doing. So then after Chicago, like, just to get back on, like, the cause a little bit more. After Chicago, we were selling different things on school. And we raised some good amount of money. And then we were able to give back to Skid Row.
Oh, wow.
In Los Angeles. And then we were able to give back $6,000 in hygiene kits.
That's fantastic.
Different, like we hired a barber to give free haircuts. And we also had different pamphlets and different resume builders to show them, like, if you need a job, you can go to these different places. See, a lot of people, when they give back, they think they automatically assume what they need. You know, before we gave back, I went to Skid Row for like 2 weeks straight, talking to different people who lived on the street. And I want to know exactly, I think I know what you want, but what do you really want? What do you really need? What is going to be beneficial for you? And
that's so smart.
And I think that, what separates us too, because we want to, when you give back, a lot of people give back, they give back money, which is cool.
Yeah,
you know,
you always need money.
You always need money.
Let's not get it wrong.
Definitely. We always need money. But not a lot of people show their faces there. Not a lot of people endure what they're...
Put in the work.
Exactly. Endure what they're going through.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the biggest thing. And then what we learned from Skid Row, because then we're like, okay, we're giving back, but we're not changing anything. It's not a long-lasting change.
Right.
And that's important. Because when you give back, of course it's amazing to give back. Like, I don't want to ever downplay like giving back. But right? But you have to do it in a strategic way where it's going to make a long-lasting impact.
Right. So you want to be able to see that impact,
a change,
or that ripple effect,
something that's not there for a week, but years to come.
Right.
So then when we went to Detroit, where we gave back, we went to Martin Luther King High School, and we installed a mentorship program. We went to Flint, Michigan, and we gave back 1,000 water bottles. And then we're like, okay, we have the mentorship program, but we need to figure out something that's going to last longer. So then we went to Guatemala last March, and we installed water filters.
Wow, I saw that. Yeah. Now, how did you know where to go? Was somebody there telling you, okay, there's a need in Detroit, there's a need in Skid Row, who helped you figure that out?
Decipher? So LA, because it's my hometown. That's the only reason why. Detroit, Flint, because Flint was going through the water crisis. And let me just touch on that. Flint has always been going through a water crisis.
And I would say they're still...
They are.
Absolutely.
And I was just about to say, they still are going through a water crisis. Just like Puerto Rico with the lights.
Absolutely.
But we see what the media wants us to see. You know?
They control it.
Exactly, they control it. And even though if people are suffering, they're like, okay, we already spent too much time there. We need to find a new cause. But they still going through it. So I think that's the biggest thing that we found out too with the Flint situation, because I learned so much there, because I thought like this just happened. You know, and I was like, they're like, it's been going for like 2 years now. So lead in the water. Like, I've never been to a water fountain and said out of order. You know, and I think that was like another turning point too, when we thought, okay, water's a necessity. And I have another friend who's a part of the college. His name is Alexander Cuna. He goes to med school at University of Minnesota. And I met him through pre-med, one of my best friends. He kind of helps us figure out how we can make a
big impact.
Okay. And that's how the water filters came about. Because he said, you know, Antoine,
that's amazing.
We have a certain amount of money, and I know you love giving back. And that's cool, but we need to start doing it strategically. And we need to start figuring out
the most.
Instead of something that's going to last a month, let's do something that's going to last a couple years. So now we're a different type of give back. You know, and I was like, yes, Alex, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for telling me that.
So now you have not a full, but you have a pretty broad clothing line.
True.
And so you promote the clothing line so that the money you make from the clothing is what you use to give back? Is that how it works?
That's a part of it. And we actually just launched our clothing line. But how we really, like how we
Are you still selling socks?
Yes. Yes. And I'm going to tell you how we give back, or how we get majority of our profit. What we specialize in is we customize apparel for high schools and colleges. And we use the profits that we make off of each high school and college, and we take a percentage now and give back to whatever give back we're going to. See, before I was in college, so I only could sell there. And then if I had a clothing line, it would be cool, but it's kind of hard to compete against, you know, all these other brands. But where we specialize in is the high schools and colleges, because high schools have to save money. Colleges who are Division III schools can't spend as much as D1 schools. So our target market are these type of schools.
Nice.
And
there's
1,100
smart young adults.
That's what you learned in that entrepreneurship program.
Thank you. I made a lot of mistakes before I realized that, though.
Oh, it's okay, but it's all part of the process. And you're so young. You still have so much ahead of you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you have a nice roster of the high schools?
We have 81.
Ouch.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So across the nation?
Across the nation, majority in LA, but like we have some in Minnesota, we have some in Alaska, we have stuff in New York. So majority is in LA, but
and where do you manufacture?
Different places. We have some in Kentucky, some in New York, some like Orange County is where I get my socks at.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yes.
So do you have a focused give back right now? Is there
Yes.
something that you want to share and say, okay, this is what, if you buy a sweatshirt or a hat?
Exactly. If you,
I'm gonna let you think about that. Sorry to cut you off. I'm gonna let you think about that real quick, because we have to take a little commercial break.
Okay.
And also, I want you to think about this question too. Like, where do you want to take this to? Where is this going to ultimately? Like, what is your goal? Before we end the show. So
awesome.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So, we're taking a brief commercial break. We're not going anywhere, but right here, I'm just going to read it to you. Okay, so today's show has also been brought to you by Inclusion Clubhouse, a not-for-profit organization that provides social and recreational activities for those with different special needs and their siblings while offering support to the family as a whole. They exist to create a space that is truly all-inclusive and accessible for children, teens, and young adults of all abilities. Inclusion Clubhouse will help create a more inclusive community. Visit us or visit them at www.inclusionclubhouse.org. www.inclusionclubhouse.org.
Yes, and hit them up for donations. They're still taking donations, and they're getting ready to do their special needs prom.
Yes.
Coming in the month of May. So. July? Oh, sorry. July. Sorry, I just changed your whole prom up. I'm thinking
Linda's
like
going,
regular prom, like normal, not normal. Regular proms, I believe, start in
May, June. Yes.
Well, actually, this month too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. April. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In 2 weeks. Yeah.
Where are they getting out of school? Like,
I don't know. They just have so many proms. They're just like boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
And like it gets spread out. Yeah. So that I guess everybody can go to everybody's prom. I think that's like the idea. Yeah. Like it used to be like we're gonna have prom on like 3 weekends and you gotta choose. But now they're like we're gonna spread it out. Like prom season is like literally no joke like 2 months.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy.
That's true.
So yes.
Okay, so we're back.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yes. So we're back. Go ahead.
Okay.
So, you want to repeat the question? What was the question?
It was your question.
No, or he was getting ready to say about what you asked him right before.
Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. What did I say?
I think it was about
Jesus.
No.
Where
do you see this going? But you had a question before that.
Yes. Oh, yes. What is your give back right now?
Yeah.
Whew, thank you.
Boom. Okay. So if you purchase anything on our sites, or if you have a coach or a different small business group that wants to purchase any items, a percentage of those profits will be going to our event where we are going to travel to Greece and help out Syrian refugees.
Wow.
And we're going to install Microsoft Surfaces. So just to give you a little quick brief of why we're doing that is because people or like individuals are leaving Syria because obviously the living conditions.
Yes.
And when the closest country is Greece, and Europe is amazing with different like benefits and whatnot, but
accepting the refugees
exactly.
Yes.
But since there's so much influx of refugees coming in there, they have to wait asylum to get into Europe, and they live in refugee camps where little islands outside of Greece, and they're waiting to get asylum into Greece.
Right.
So, but what's very hard for them is because maybe their living conditions might be okay, but there's nothing to do for them.
Yeah.
Also, it's hard for them to connect with their families back home.
Right. No communication.
Especially when usually the dad leaves first to get everything settled, and then the family comes in. And we think the biggest thing too, also, like we don't know what country you're gonna learn, so you don't know what language to speak. So then when you try to get a job, how are you gonna get a job if you don't even understand what they're talking about?
Right.
So we thought if we can install Microsoft Surfaces.
And what is that? What is
it's like a laptop, but for Microsoft.
Oh, so it's like the Surface.
The Surface.
The little. I get it. Yes, now I know.
And then we want to install Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
So then they can learn the different languages.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you're gonna buy those,
Exactly.
install the Rosetta Stone, and then hand those out.
Yes. at different refugee camps.
Wow.
Yes.
And how
so
many
that
do you
will
expect?
be there in the camp so that the people that are there,
if they go to, depending on what country they're going to.
Exactly.
So how many do you expect to
or how many do you need?
Purchase?
Well, we're raising $10,000 for this event.
Wow.
And
are you going to Greece?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. like I said, we can't just give back money. We have to actually be there in the trenches, you know, going through what they're going through. Yeah. That's how I feel like any event that I do on from here on out, my team members, if I'm not there, my team members will be there doing it. And I've been fortunate enough where I can go to every single one.
Wow.
And that's my plan to continue to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
And as you're still going to school, or are you?
I graduated.
You did. You
graduated. With your biology degree?
Yes. Natural science pre-med. Graduated.
I'm going to give you a look. Yes.
That future is bright.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because a biology degree is not easy.
Oh, it was really tough. Definitely tough.
Stretch of the imagination. I was a biology major.
Oh, you understand.
Yeah.
I have one in my house.
But I did
right
not
now.
finish it.
Oh, okay.
I started having babies. I did like real life biology.
Understandable. I'm dead.
I have a pre-med in my house. He's losing his mind.
Oh, it's rough.
It's not funny.
You know? Yeah. And the biggest thing I can say is, you know, just have a support group and always just believe that at the end of the day, you're going to do it. Yes. You're going to get through it. You're going to get through that test.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing for me is like my mental game was like kind of shaky because I was like, man, like I'm really going through it. There wasn't too many people who looked like me who was in my class.
Yes.
I was always kind of intimidated because in high school I wasn't challenged like this. So I went from not being really challenged at all to kicking my butt, and then I have to go travel for a football game. So it was really hard for me. And then just the support system, like calling my mom, calling my family was really big.
So speaking of your mom,
yeah.
So when she found out that you were doing all this,
yes.
What did she say? Like when you told her, listen, I started selling socks.
What did Latia say?
Oh my God.
Cubano, what did Latia say?
What did she say? Did she really?
She was just like, see, my mom, I feel like my mom is very hard on me.
Yeah, I'm like,
definitely.
Are you the only child?
With my mom, yes.
Yes. Okay.
My dad has various children. Like I have a bunch of siblings, but I learned from my dad. Like what I learned from my dad really was from hard work. My dad's a hard worker. He's actually a traveling nurse, and he just actually got his license for nurse practitioner.
Wow.
So
fantastic.
he definitely shows me like what hard work is. But living with my mom, you know, because I lived with my mom. She was definitely a hard worker as well, and she says her job as a parent is done when I could take care of myself.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
And chasing this dream,
That's right,
I gave
Mrs.
up.
Taylor.
I gave up going to grad school at Cleveland State to be a nurse where it's a guarantee. If you work 3 days a week, you're getting 60 to 75,000, you know?
Right.
So that's like a guaranteed.
Right.
But like, it doesn't fulfill me.
Right.
You know? So like what I told my mom is, let's try it out for a year to see if it's going to work. The cause. See if the cause international is going to work.
Yes.
And God's helping me. God's getting me through. And she's seeing all the progression. She's like, wow, this is amazing. So I still have, I got into Cleveland State, but I deferred until, it starts every January. So I was supposed to start this January, but I deferred till next January.
Gotcha.
So hopefully I can continue to progress so I don't have to go back to school. And I'm thinking now, if I go back to school, I'm probably going to do social entrepreneurship for my MBA. Because I think that fits me better.
Yeah.
So, and I think just having Latia just really on me, it just made me get to the place where I'm at now. And she's definitely proud of me. And I know she's proud of me.
Yes.
But
I'm sure she is. As a mother, how can she not be? Absolutely.
Well,
I'm proud of you.
Yes. You're not even
I needing to meet my son.
Yeah, I'm like, can you come talk to my children?
Can we have like a little intervention? No. That's amazing. I mean, so what do you want to say to all these young adults who are hungry? Because first of all, you got to be hungry.
I think
definitely. I'm glad you used that terminology.
Yes.
I didn't know I could say that.
Yes,
but yes, you got to be hungry.
You can say whatever you want on this program.
That's
you definitely
key.
have to
I
be
always
hungry.
say, if you're not hungry, then it's not.
Well, and I also wanted to compare it to a hustle. Like, I don't know. Do you watch that show Grownish?
Yes.
My kid, and I bring it up only because my kids and I are like all about Grownish. Like it's amazing. But I love the show because I feel like it gives a real but fun, entertaining taste of the college life. Like how would you say that? Because I feel like you gotta have a hustle.
You got to.
Like you gotta have a.
Well, you
hustle
gotta be hungry first and then hustle.
You gotta exactly.
Because I think the hunger is what creates the hustle.
Exactly. Because you're hungry, you figure out what you want to do.
Yes. And not just hungry for like a cheeseburger. I mean, like a hunger
and goals.
Yes.
And trying to make a change.
Yes, and if you don't, then you're not.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
so speak on that.
So like, what would you say to someone who's in college right now?
Okay.
like, because they're like overwhelmed. It's new. It's a new environment. You know, like everything that you went through, right? So what would you encourage them to do, or where to start?
Okay, I would definitely encourage them to follow what's within.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard, because when you go to college, well, for myself, I was persuaded by my family what I should be doing.
Right.
You know, and you can't get hungry or hustle if you're not doing it from within.
Right.
You know, so first what I'll figure out is figure out what you truly love, and then when you identify it, lock in. Lock in. And when I mean lock in is like shed some time where going out or being on the computer or watching Netflix. Lock in on what you truly care about. Because if you lock in right now, 30s are going to be a breeze. 20s is when you grind. You know? That's when you
Say
hustle.
that one more time. 20s is when you grind.
20s is when you grind. Because you are creating a foundation for you, your family to come. This is where you're supposed to grind at. And then when you're 30s, you get to live off of what you just put in.
The fruits of your labor.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And people don't understand that. And I feel like it's always good to have a balance. You have to have fun. You know, Cubano brings the fun out of me a lot. You know, and Trey as well. You know, you gotta have a balance. But at the end of the day, we all know what we have to do. Right. You know, and we're all hungry in different areas. So
I think from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, you found people that were like-minded.
Yes.
I think you found people that believed in what you were doing and agreed and joined in. So you also have to find a circle where you have like-minded people and that'll get on board with what your ambition is.
Dang. Yes, exactly.
And did you have haters? Like, did you have people who were trying to bring you down?
Oh,
yeah. So answer both questions.
You gotta have. Okay. First off, what you said precisely. I am nothing without my team.
Yeah.
These are my
shout out to your team.
Shout out to my team. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the photographers. Shout out to like everyone. Like literally, it's all the people who post. You know, I think having a team like my team is amazing because they just support you. Yeah, and then they tell you no, we're not doing that.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Honest.
That's good.
Keep it real.
Yes.
I need it to keep it 100. I know. Sorry, Mosh. I said, but like you have to keep it 100 at all times. Yeah. Because we can't progress if we're not keeping it honest with each other.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Like I love my friends. Like just for my birthday, they threw a surprise party for me at Benihana's. It was like 50, and it was just like that's the type of love that I need. And if you surround yourself with people like that in college, it makes the hustle easier too. Because you're excited to wake up because you look into the right, you're like, all right, you hustling on your dream. Cubano, you grinding right now with your music. You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. Yeah. Trey always editing for videography. We wake up because we're hungry to, you know, trying to make it in life.
And but also you're teachable. Because some people are not teachable.
This is true.
And so
be a teachable person.
Just good.
Be a teachable person. Teachable, coachable.
Yes. You have to say, all right, so if you literally, anyone who has purchased my stuff and put it on Instagram or social media, I say literally every single person, I say, thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Like, of course, I love what you're doing. I say, now keep it honest with me. What didn't you like about my product?
Yes.
Because
very good. You're willing to get that feedback.
I need that. Because if I come correct in all these areas, how can you say no? How can you say no to young individuals trying to make a difference? How can you say no to like price points? And also what I didn't get to tell you as well. When I sell to high schools and colleges, I help kids get recruited. I helped 51 kids get into college this year.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Also shout out, there's 62 schools that are universities and colleges around the world that if your kid gets into the college, they will literally fly your kid out to come visit for a weekend. Wow. No one tells you that. Yeah. That's how I got to St. John's. I had one kid, he's been on 7 recruiting trips. He's never been on a plane in his entire life from East LA, from Roosevelt. So just stuff like that. Yeah. You know, and I think that's really big.
And how can the schools get in contact with you? Will they just go to your website?
They go to my website and it has my information.
The causeinternational.com.
The causeinternational.com.
Is there a space where they click on?
It says contact.
Okay.
Contact. And causeinternational.com has my phone number, it has my email. It has
so the
Facebook.
Schools and high schools and local colleges or colleges anywhere that want to participate in that contact you. You'll get them the information to get them rolling out on it.
And I think what separates us because I lived it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So like you can speak to it.
Exactly. You're gonna listen to someone who looks like you, who's young like you and who's just been through it. Whereas hearing it from someone who's hearing it from somebody who's a little older.
Right. Shawn Michaels says your team loves you back.
Oh,
Sean. He was my first photographer. Sean, I love you. He was first photographer. Believed in the dream right away.
And we only have like a couple 1 minute left, seconds left.
What do you want to say?
Yeah, what do you want to say about the haters or anything else that you want to say?
I think I want to touch on for the last minute was, where do I see yourself as the Cause International in the future? And I see ourselves as not a brand, not like I want to have a label on what we do. I want to be a movement. I want to do a lot of different things. I don't want you to categorize us.
Right.
And I think everything that we do is about giving back to the community and helping those who don't have a voice, and also helping people who do have a voice reach their goals. Yeah. You know, it's more than the clothing with us. Yeah. It's a vision. It's a movement. Fantastic. So
I agree. And I never saw it as a clothing line. I just thought that it's so cool that you could walk around with sweatshirts and people can say, what is the cause?
That's the reason why I did that, because they just want to.
So what were you going to say?
I just want to say thank you guys for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you for coming.
I appreciate it.
It's just, it kind of like ties the whole weekend into a beautiful bow, because you know, you started Saturday with these young adults just saying, we need change. And then we're sitting here with a young adult who started change, is doing change, is being changed. So thank you for
we would love to have you back anytime that you have
absolutely
anything.
That you want to
promote. Thank you for being you. Thank you for causing your change. Thank you for being
hungry.
Yes.
And
thank you for your hustle.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
So we want to say thank you to all of you who are listening and who are viewing us. And we want to say we hope you've been informed, educated, and entertained. Catch us next Monday.
No.
Yes, with another show.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. See you next Monday. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to Table for Five with Felicia and Annette, only on LA Talk Radio.